It's now the big three. It was two teams before Team Icon and Chiefs, and they have been beaten by Out of Order. Who's going to get the chance to verse them now? We'll find out. Icon, who I guess had a bit of fun with that last one, have got a big opponent ahead of them.
Oh yeah, this is fast becoming the El Clasico of OC Rocket League. That Icon roster up against the Chiefs.
The longest rivalry, and they've got players that used to play together, Kami and CJ. So there is a lot on the line in terms of being able to boast and roast the others. But Chiefs have looked the better team over Icon throughout this entire competition. They won the two first grand finals over the top of them. Next up, Icon got beaten by Out of Order twice. So this is the first time we're seeing the rematch since 2 weeks ago. So things could be completely different.
Yeah, and we've just seen Order run over the top of Esper, who admittedly didn't have...
Icon.
Sorry, yeah, Icon run over the top of Esper, who admittedly didn't have their full roster because of Outlast having to leave. But, I mean, for them, they are always a team that look better for the warm-up, look better for the run-out before they actually take that next match. So for them now coming up against the Chiefs, they've had that hit-out. No doubt that Chiefs will be really looking forward to this match because it's been 2 weeks since they've tested their mettle against one another, and these guys don't shy away from that rivalry. I think definitely Icon, their playstyle really gets under the skin of Chiefs, and I'm keen to see them go head-to-head now.
I think everyone gets under the skin of Chiefs, but this is really important for the Chiefs as well. They're really hungry to get back into the grand final and to take down Out of Order, to really get revenge there, because they got reverse swept. You do not go away from that thing being happy at all. So this is a big moment for them. They've got Torsos and Kami, who are the two top scorers in terms of points across the competition.
I was going to say, not goals.
Not in terms of goals, because Zen has the most goals, but that's just because he had that one, big match, even big game where he scored four goals in like 2 different games. But he is sitting up in sort of the mid-level, and that's kind of been going up and up as he's gained more and more confidence throughout the time that these gauntlets have been going on.
Yeah. So I think from a Chiefs perspective now, they were upset last week by Out of Order with what was, I guess, a real coming of age from their Out of Order squad. And Chiefs now have been knocked back 1 slot in the gauntlet. They would, they would normally be watching the entire thing before having to play. So for them, it's an unfamiliar position, having to come in what they would deem early in the gauntlet, and it's now Out of Order. They're sitting back and watching these two teams play. So I'm keen to see now whether or not Chiefs and how they approach this game. Keen to see just how players like Zen can get themselves into the game, because as you said in previous weeks, sometimes the pressure of it all can bring out a few mistakes in team play. And this is not the time to be allowing those mistakes to occur. Icon may get the pounce on him here.
I'm keen to see how this goes. It's been 2 weeks since these two teams, or 3 gauntlets, 2 weeks since these two teams played. And when that happened, it was a grand final. It was Game 7. So it is close. There's a lot on the line, and we can be sure that Icon are going to be taking this one seriously, just like the Chiefs. This should be our best match so far today, and that even includes that big upset by Esper.
Oh, here he goes, Zen. How's he get away with this? Open net, and 5 seconds gone, and we see Zen stake his claim towards that Golden Striker award.
Still putting himself right at the top, and that was a big start, an overcommittance on the kickoff. Just a little bit much.
Actually, I shouldn't call it Golden Striker. That one's reserved for...
Excuse me? Are you saying we're not prestigious enough to have our own Golden Striker award?
We might call it...
the Best Farmer Award.
The Best Farmer Award. There you go. The Golden Farmer Award.
Yeah.
The Old McDonald Award. There's infield passing play. Kami doesn't connect with that one, but Icon just send it downfield. can't deal with it. They can't find it.
Clever pass coming out either way. They were on the backboard. They were really getting in the way and making it hard for the defense to read what was going on. Very good from the Chiefs to just even be able to defend it from underneath.
It's the kind of plays you expect from teams of this caliber. As Kami just asked questions, direct route from him. Zen just looking to hole it up, but there we go. Torsos runs it through. It needs to be dealt with. Shady does so quite nicely, actually sticking with the Batmobile as well. So not just a meme there for him, but they've left the goals open. The Chiefs and Express takes that one by the throat.
That was tough as well. It's a brilliant pass, but they just got right in that spot for the intercept, and Kami had to back off, just not fast enough to get back, and this really looks a lot faster than our previous gameplay.
To be expected. These two teams have had many a battle that have gone down in history. This one is shaping up to be no different whatsoever. Is CJ looking to find his teammates once again. Express doesn't actually connect with that one. And, well, this is a chance there. Kami had a chance to really put that one on the backboard.
It's the power of Torsos, too, to just take out two opponents from the pitch. He can really open up the net, and he likes going for those big solo plays. It's whether they can get the passing plays going as well, and that, I think, is most about Zen's confidence and whether he's willing to come in and get a pass or receive a pass.
Kami now just trying to dribble that one through. Can't quite get it there. There's, well, the passing plays from Chiefs haven't quite got going just yet, but you've alluded to it. When they go. They look good. They look very, very healthy in the way that they create, but this could cause a problem if he gets that double touch. Not to be the case, but Shady can't actually get the direction he needs on that one, but it's the third man in that asks questions on that post. It saves the day. Torsos onto Zen, who will just get that one away, who has enough boost to do so, allowing his teammates to go and find more.
That's some great mechanics from Zen, too, to beat it out. Each team taking an opportunity, but so far in the last minute or so, it has been Icon's game. They've had the chance to really follow each other closely and prevent Chiefs from getting to the ball first.
Who will be the next to break this deadlock? That's the question on everybody's lips right now is Shady.
Ooh. The thing is, it can come down to plays like that where Shady makes a big risky play. He goes to the dive and hopes for the best, and it almost works out. And that could decide the entire game.
Big moments, big players. That could be the difference now. And Zen needed more power on that. Didn't find the power he needed.
It was really hard to react. That pass out from Torsos was actually banging, and he just didn't quite get around it in time.
Couldn't quite find it, but just releases Icon now as Express looks to play more direct, actually.
And Zen had to avoid Shady too. Shady, they know how they play. They've played against them so much. They scrim against them regularly, and they know that they're coming in for the demo. So even now that they're not getting the demo, they're throwing the rotations off, and another bump in the backfield is going to shut down any chance of a pass here for Chiefs.
That's where something unpredictable might actually throw the patterns that they're used to here. Is Express actually from downtown. More of a clearance there, but it does catch the Chiefs off.
Zen getting overzealous there, just coming in on Kami, and the bump on Torsos earlier, that sent him further back, so he rushed to get in, and he was rushing forward, his momentum was forward, and that's when the ball goes over his head.
And that's where the game style that Icon like to employ against the Chiefs really pays dividends.
Yeah, they really like just getting in their faces, playing incredibly fast, getting a pass off if they can, but if they can't, they make just a good chance of getting it over the top of it, like that.
Yeah. Those individual plays just opening things up for teammates to come through and creating something out of nothing. CJ fires wide though in the Chiefs. They hold on for now.
This is 2v1 in defense, Expressed by himself, but he does a great job of making sure they take it high. That's what builds the team for the time for his team to get back.
Definitely going to need some time too, because this game, this pace that these two teams are setting right now, transitioning from attack to defense and back again. He's going to ask a lot of questions, but there we go. Zen pounces on that one.
You really saw the difficulty that CJ had. This touch here, just letting it go past. He could have taken it up. He thought, I'll be clever. And Torsos pressures him the entire way, so he's forced to get that across to Zen.
Some decent team play there now, resulting, funnily enough, in a goal for the Chiefs. That pressure working for them rather than against them is now likely to see overtime in this match, unless something can occur out of this attack. CJ just looks to find ground with that pass. And, well, it's up for now, but we are potentially going to see overtime here unless Torsos can work some magic. Not to be.
We saw a bit of a difference there from Shady, not challenging. This is the difference between the start of this game, where they kind of were overly relaxed from the previous match.
Double demo from Torsos.
To now, where they're now a lot more serious. They don't want to risk it all for nothing. Zen has a big shot here. It's just going to go a bit wide. Still, though, it takes a big play off the backboard for Express, and that's going to pass it down. Another open net, and Team Icon capitalize.
And that was a great pass, actually, from Express to find Shady as well.
What's more important as well, Shady was already pushing out. A lot of trust, considering he was coming off the roof.
And game one goes the way of Icon. So this is going to be an excellent series. I feel like these two teams have definitely upped the ante, upped the pace from what we've seen in previous matches at Gauntlet this evening. And I mean, Zen, 2 goals. He was quite lively in that game, and you could just
maybe a little too lively, because he was definitely involved in some of the mix-ups in defense. So he's going to need to find, I guess, that middle ground of confidence without overconfidence.
Yeah, that's true. That is actually very, very true. That it's that lonely position of neutral sometimes you might find yourself in if you don't go for either one.
Yeah.
But I mean, from the Chiefs' perspective, there was maybe a few mistakes starting to creep in. You saw them get caught out by what was a long-range effort from Express.
I think that's the factor of Icon as well, though. They can surprise you. You kind of think, why are they doing that? Well, they have a reason. They've already set up a game plan around that. And we have to remember, this is a best of 5.
Yeah.
The mistakes are going to be amplified by the fact that it is a quick series, and this is another kickoff goal that's just taking advantage of the Icon aggressive kickoff.
And, I mean, it was Kami beating out all of the defense there as well. So, I mean, I would have argued that Icon have been the faster team to the ball for a lot of the first game. Whereas now, Chiefs have actually come out of the gates a little bit hotter.
Yeah, but on the kickoffs, that's not been the case, because they push up too aggressively to the point where they can't get to the ball. So they're still in this position where they're playing really close so they can be fast, but if it gets past you, it doesn't matter how fast you are, you've been beaten.
Yeah. Oh, Kami just asked the question. Shady has to respond and infield pass there, but no commitment forward from Zen. In fact, he opts to go for a more defensive approach.
He actually got for the fake challenge as well. He really forced them to make a decision and then went in once his teammate was behind him.
Just a few bumps there, which slows things up for Chiefs in getting out of defense, and they do not do so. Torsos gets himself a second touch, but Express locks that in. Kami first to rise, first to the ball as well, thankfully. So Chiefs
even still
under pressure.
Because CJ travels around the pitch so fast, he gets up to that, he pressures the ball so Kami can't get a big clear, and then he's still going so fast that he recovers quickly and he's back in defense before anyone on Chiefs can make a play.
CJ makes no mistake with that. The pass and play is great. Express finds him nicely here as well. Zen just right into the path of Express.
This is a tough angle.
Oh, yeah.
He almost gets a negative angle on that and speeds it up at the same time. The defense was looking for the direct shot, and that's not what comes. This is when the kickoff from Team Icon works in their favor. But Kami has sent it straight back towards them, and it could be a goal off kickoff again.
Ooh, denied by Express.
Bit fortunate too, because he just jumped to the position, hoped that it would shoot at him, and it did. And with 2 people from Team Icon committing to the same play, it could have very quickly gone against them.
Great work from Zen then too. He needed to be in that challenge, otherwise that is pressure on goal from Icon, who have looked like they are the stronger team so far in this match. Still plenty of time to play, though. The Chiefs to get themselves back into this here. Look for that backboard touch, which is denied, well, by Shady, but you just feel as though Icon is starting to piece it together a little bit quicker than their opposition.
I love seeing the difference as well between Chiefs and Team Espa in terms of when you see the Chiefs, they're able to beat Icon to the ball at certain stages. It's kind of like 50-50 where the one team beats the other, depending on the play. When it was Team Espa, you just see them get beat every single time and hope for the best. The counter-attack happens. That's just what's going to happen when you're Icon and you're playing very aggressive and you go for a bump and you get bumped at the same time. So I think that's the biggest risk of that bump.
Yeah.
You get bumped when you bump them.
Yeah, the problem was that infield pass, there was no one actually coming onto it. They were rather trying to get themselves back into goals, and that was only going to go one way. So, Chiefs, good transition there. And, well, I'm feeling like David here depleted with caffeine somewhat to get me through, but we'll manage. We can manage those energy levels, David.
This is a really fierce battle too. Just goals back and forth. Who can really outplay in this one little microcosm of a play? You get them in one little spot, you beat them out like that, and that's going to open up the net one chance, and then the other team gets their go at a counter-attack.
Kami just searching for something in field there, just left. Ooh, some interesting bumps in the infield there. Means Zen can just wheel that one away, and maybe a solo attempt here is met by CJ. And Kami will look to just find Torsos, who needed to be careful he didn't encroach too far forward until Zen got himself back in position there. But rotations from Chiefs are very, very cautious, aren't they?
Yeah,
very deep.
They're just staying wide, wanting to keep pressure, but the way that they're playing as well is kind of expecting Icon to be low on boost, and we know, except for CJ, they all have plenty in the tank.
Field again, every time they're looking for it, but Zen beats out his opposition, can't get it past, and is nicely put away by Torsos there. Zen just popping that one up nicely.
Some rough execution, but a beautiful thought. Zen could have put that on, but the 1-2-1, they used their room wisely. They knew exactly where they could put it without the chance for Shady to challenge them.
Great team goal there.
Yeah.
Chiefs with the commanding lead now in this game.
Oh, Kami's just done it.
It's even more commanding.
I mean, this is off the kickoff again. We kind of see how aggressive they like to be, and when that one dunk happens, it goes your way, and that's kind of the difference. We saw Outlast earlier. I was saying he wasn't executing anything fantastically. It's more important that you don't get dunked when you go for that dribble in threes, and you can see why just there.
That is actually, that was danger for Icon as that ball rattled in field. And now Icon get their play. It's actually really well done by Torsos there just to hang in front of that, keep it away. Kami looking for something of his own. Denied by CJ. And, well, Chiefs are actually starting to really weather this pressure.
It almost feels unfair as well when Torsos is playing at his peak. You know, he gets those big strikes that we saw earlier, and he has these big saves. It makes it so it's really, I guess, frustrating to get onto the attack, and you overcommit. Zen gets a free goal.
Yep.
And, well, he's kept his top position.
That's one for the balance books, one for the sheets. And, well, Zen, he heard Shady was out there farming.
Yep.
And he said, nope, not on my watch.
His biggest competition there is Express, and it's pretty safe from him at the moment in this game. But when we looked at game one, and it was a really close affair, and even game two looked like it was going to be close right at the start. Icon, they fired back once, and since then, the risks haven't really paid off with an actual goal.
Not yet. Not yet. And, well, need to get themselves some momentum back here, because I felt as though in this arm wrestle, that is the Chiefs versus Icon battle, it feels like Chiefs have certainly got themselves into a commanding position now. They're looking fluid in the way they play. I mean, Kami there, 6 shots. He was peppering that net.
Well, he was most importantly just able to get to a position just ahead of their opponents and get a dunk or any kind of touch. You saw that one kickoff where he just runs away with the ball because he was dunking Shady and got the follow-up as well. He's been a nuisance. Torsos has been doing well. Really hit that peak performance, especially with that massive save that by all accounts should have been in. And Zen, he's not getting in the way. I think the ability for them to adapt has been really good. Now it's up to Icon to adapt, because if they continue to play super aggressive, Chiefs are good at punishing teams like that.
They certainly are. And I mean, there was how many times that we saw that transition very, very quickly from Chiefs, anything into attack.
The go-ahead goal as well was just a straight counter-attack where they overcommitted. Shady had to get back, and he never was able to have the confidence to challenge because his two teammates weren't even in a position to back him up.
Now, who will get themselves off to the ideal start in this game? Will it be Icon, who will fight back tooth and nail? Or will it be Chiefs to just extend what has been a good period of play for them? And Icon are coming out of the gates fast. CJ needs to put that away, and he does. Chiefs, not much they could do.
Icon beat them to the ball so many times in this play, over and over again. Even CJ, before this play happened, just goes up. It's not the greatest touch, but he takes out a player just by beating them to the ball, and then eventually the dam has to break.
You throw enough mud at the wall, eventually some of it's going to stick. And I think that is the theory being applied to just the way that they are peppering that net, Icon. And they do it again through Express. Nobody home in the defense, though.
And they slowed it down. Express knew that the demo was coming in. CJ chases a second player. He's taken two people out of the game. And normally they'd be able to deal with that because Express would be coming in fast and they'd be able to jump and deal with that. But he slowed it down and prevented them from being able to come out, avoid the demo, and make the defense at the same time.
Oh. Hopefully Torsos is there to get rid of that. And, well, there's an open opportunity. Zen missing that one completely. Torsos, he couldn't get to that at all.
No, it was a real challenge here. And considering the way that this last game went, there's a complete turnaround, especially from Torsos. He's been making mechanical mistakes near the ball, some accidental double jumps, that time an accidental flip. So 3-0 for Icon. And Torsos getting a bit of revenge of his own.
Oh dear, that revenge hopefully though is going to come in the form of the scoreboard. But it is actually Icon that strike again, and it's Express with that long range effort.
Yeah, they didn't expect the 50 to quite go that direction. Zen had pushed up for probably another play, I hope. But they have a lot of work to do. I guess that's the beginning of it. Icon just keep letting in. This is, I think, their third kickoff goal that they've conceded against the Chiefs. And they conceded a couple, I think, 1 or 2 against Esper too.
There's been 5 goals in this game in 1 minute and 8 seconds played.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, there's 2 minutes left in this game. Surely one of these teams is going to get over the other just due to the fact there's so much time, only so much time left. But it's not to be the case. There's actually so much of this game left to play. So there's going to be more goals here yet. The question is, who's going to be the ones to score them? Icon have got themselves off to a fantastic start. The Chiefs have found a reply. So we've seen enough out of Chiefs to know that they can pile them on as well. The question is, can they stem the tide?
Well, it's been very sloppy. They had a shot there as Express had to drive that across the pitch, and there were many Chiefs in wait. But look at this. Shady again beating someone out. Just outpacing the Chiefs and getting close to the ball and making sure that they come in and then hitting that away.
Zen. Good enough. Torsos has to try and get something happening of his own, but straight and direct is CJ, and that keeps Icon just with possession down their opposition's end. But Torsos could be a menace here. Can't quite find that touch off the backboard that he needed.
He was trying to dunk him, so he went to the right-hand side, tried to read the play that Express was making and make it so that it would be a goal any which way. It didn't pan out that time, but he did still have an effect on the ball.
Even then you could see that there was a double commit earlier from Chiefs that could have put them in a very compromising position, and it did. in terms of an open net. So just, question on the lips of Icon. Can we capitalise on these Chiefs' mistakes? Can we extend our lead? They've got 3 goals lead at the moment, but Chiefs have looked dangerous.
It's good to see the game's cleaned up, but obviously it's not very hard to have cleaned it up from the slop of the first minute, but it really has. You can see a lot better rotations coming out from the Chiefs, a lot less mechanical mistakes coming out from Torsos. And Icon, you know, playing practically defensive.
Trying to shut up shop around their opposition. See if they can just strangle this game out, hold the Chiefs to 1 goal only, and try and ride it out. But the Chiefs are going to have other plans. They're going to try and go forward. They're not confident, well, they're not happy, should I say, going down like this. So they're going to at least try and push forward for some goals. Yes, it may actually result in them conceding more, but at this stage, they're already 3 goals behind.
They're going to be thinking about game 1 too, where it was really close and it could have gone either way and it was in overtime. They're thinking, oh no, that could have been the decider right there. If they lose this one, Icon will be on match point to get revenge against the Chiefs for the first 2 Gauntlet victories, and also to have a crack at becoming the victors of the Gauntlet once, or for their first ever time, considering they came in at the start as the #1 seeds.
Once you're at the top, there is only one way to go, and that is down. An Icon, they've been to the top, they've also been on a steady decline since, so they are very, very keen to stamp their authority, should I say, on this match, and have been very dominant in this particular game. But, I mean, cast your mind back 1 game ago, it was the Chiefs that was commanding traffic, so this game has a real ebb and flow about it.
Yeah, you can really tell like how 1 or 2 goals can really affect the flow of the entire game and the flow of the match itself. But both of these teams are able to focus, get back into it. They're both very experienced, and that's what makes them so fun to watch as well. But for now, Icon take game 3. They take the 2-1 lead. They look on the verge of taking down their biggest rivals.
Yeah, and I mean, from the Chiefs' perspective, they need to go back to the drawing board. They don't have a lot of time. They need to talk this out over the next minute and go, well, we've just copped it. We need to try and reset ourselves here. And I felt as though Chiefs were getting caught out of position and punished a lot for it.
Yeah, they really were. And I think we see kind of inconsistency from Zen. We saw it from Torsos at the start, but he brought it back. There's Zen with his positioning going a little bit forward sometimes and then not the other. So I think he really did take into account that first game where he was just too involved, and then he's moving back. As you said, if you sit in that middle ground, you often just end up being very undecisive.
Yeah, you end up being the piggy in the middle.
Yeah.
Don't you? You watch that ball go either over you or over you in the opposite direction.
Or you get
again.
beaten.
Yeah,
You know? Yeah. So it is a tough. It is a tough line to ride, especially against Icon. They do not give you much room to move, and if they can find that first goal, I think they're going to be pretty happy.
Certainly, whoever finds the first goal in this game is going to be pretty happy, because we know that these 2 teams can pile on the goals, start scoring on command, should I say. Shady there, signal of intent from him early on that just says to Chiefs, hey, we know this particular game style, that bumping, that rough and that tumble, it works. We're not going to shy away from that if need be. And the Chiefs have to deal with that pressure, that infield. That's a very nice pass, somehow kept out. Torsos does his best, and that just buys Chiefs some time for the moment, as we do see that ball again go towards the net, but Zen is equal to that challenge.
That looked as good as in, but Kami with a dive straight across. Another shot on, but look at his committance. It goes over the top of Express's head, and if somebody was ready for it, they could have taken advantage. Look at the risk that Icon are willing to take to get a goal, and it almost paid off.
Zen very nearly finds a payday of his own with that attempt, and Chiefs now, they're on the attack. They're trying to make something happen for themselves. It's not to be, as Torsos equal that challenge, just holds things up, and Kami finds the ball eventually, overcorrecting himself somewhat, but Torsos now couldn't quite find the infielders. Icon get themselves off the hook.
you can kind of see as well that they had that fake challenge there. And when you're up against Icon, you know that they're trying to beat you to the ball. So fake challenges can work where they're like, okay, well, we'll beat him. Oh, he's not actually going. We just beat no one. And then they don't get the best touch they possibly want because they make a touch like that that's just solely designed to take you out of the play. But in the end, they take out no one if you don't go for the ball.
Torsos now. Looking to just find Zen. Zen steers it, but it's passing play that they're looking for. That's where they've looked their strongest. That three-man passing play from Chiefs has been good, but it has been too far and few between for them. As Kami will look to try and start something of his own. And you said it in previous iterations that maybe it is that individual play that's going to spark something.
Yeah, we saw some really good individual play right there, but in the end, the accidental touch against the backboard spoils it for the team. This is a tough one. The net's been opened up. A bump on Zen, I think it was, and that has allowed the shot to ring in off the backboard and also the mistake between Torsos and Kami. Either way, that's a beautiful follow-up touch from Express.
Yeah, that ball just popping up nicely for Express off the back of Kami. And that results in the first goal. It took a long time compared to what we've seen in some of the previous games where 5 goals in the first minute and 8 seconds. And now it's taken just shy of 2 minutes 30 to find the second.
And you can't do this. This is the turnaround because Shady pops that out. And normally you'd expect CJ to challenge. Kami takes his time, finds the right spot. CJ's caught on that backboard, so he knows he just puts it on the other side and can't make the save.
Most importantly for Chiefs, they don't allow Icon to get their nose ahead for too long. Very important that is the case because they did pile on some goals in the previous game.
Well, that's a good touch from Kami. Can Zen follow it up? He sends it high, but they will still have the pressure. Wide rotations. That's a big pass play of the shot. Oh, the side post coming in. It rings just off, and that is a tough one for the Chiefs to watch.
Still a chance here, though. As CJ does finally repel the attack. Well, Kami there just trying to fake out his opposition, but they quite find it.
That did enough because it caused 2 commits, and look, Zen just took both corner boosts. So now, everyone on Icon are low on boost and hoping, beyond all hope, they can just get it out, and that is clutch from CJ to get some time for his teammates to pick up some boost.
Be careful though, that touch was maybe a bit too far behind his teammates. And there is a direct touch from Torsos. He notches Chiefs ahead.
What a beauty! From the outback to the top and back down in. 2-1, but that is a big solo goal from Torsos off the roof. Just nice and fast. Doesn't take his time, just finds the angle. It's clean, it's simple, but that's all you need to win a Rocket League game.
Torsos must be cracking at taking selfies as well because he finds those angles. I'm sure he can find enough angles to make us look good.
Oh, no, it's impossible.
Nah, look, if there's an angle, that man can find it.
It's more about the lighting of us, or the lack of.
No, that's an angel.
No. Can Icon bring this back? Otherwise, we're going to a game number 5. This is all on Torsos to read that play, and he does. Kami passes across to Zen, who looks to finish it, and that's a big dunk. It could have been the end. 40 seconds left. But Icon right now, the best they can do is try and get this out of their own defense. That's a big one from CJ to get that dunk. But Zen gets an accidental bump and it sends CJ away. Torsos to Kami in the center field, and he's going to take that up to Express. It's 20 seconds left on the clock, and Icon, they have one last chance to make a big play. This is it. Express in the back corner. 10 seconds. Rings down on the clock. Express on the left-hand side. Kami dunks it out. It looks harder and harder. We might have our game number 5. This is going to hit the ground, and Chiefs Esports have brought it the distance.
Oh, yeah. They do, and they take it to game number 5 after looking very flat in the previous match in game number 3. they have turned it around. They've looked much, much better, and Icon made them work for it as well. I think that's probably the best game that we've actually seen from these two teams.
Yeah, game one felt really back and forth. I think that was an overtime, so that one was a tough fought one, and then game 2 and 3 were just completely one-sided each way. But the last time we saw these guys, they went to game 7. This time it's a best of 5, so it all comes down to this one game. A hard-fought battle, and it's between the 2 top teams and 2 biggest rivals in the region.
Yeah, and this is where it's really going to come to a head. As you said, it's a shame, best of 5, but there's only so many hours in an evening. And look, these 2 teams are turning it on. And I think that's, we can expect a really high level of gameplay in game number 5. Neither of these 2 teams want to give an inch.
No, I mean, realistically, when you see these guys, not only are they playing to get in the grand final for revenge, both of them have that kind of revenge against Out of Order that they really need, but also it's so important for their fragile little egos to be able to take this win and maintain their position and their confidence going forward. I say fragile egos. It's not really fragile. They got big egos, all of them.
It's rock solid, like that hair gel that you use. I kid, but let's see who can crack the egg first, who can get themselves some very yummy yolk. As Torsos bats that one away.
No one up there pushing for Chiefs. Maybe they're trying to play this a little bit more defensive in this game, make sure that none of those early goals go in, and more importantly, that they prevent that flood that seems to happen. So we'll find out, and Icon don't seem to be putting on a ton of pressure on these plays either. So a very defensive affair as we hit game 1 and all the stakes rise to the top.
I like my steak medium rare, but both these 2 teams will not overdo it, hopefully, because they do just try and lock that ball in the Chiefs, see if they can find something here on the back of a mistake through lack of boost from Icon, but they navigate their way through. CJ has enough in the tank to get that one away, and he keeps this deadlock at 0-0 just for now. Icon fighting furiously to keep that ball and push it away up through the midfield here. Express buys them some time, but more importantly, buys them some boost.
Express was the one that maintained his boost throughout that entire play. So really well thought out for him to keep that boost and use it to gain more, but that is a redirect and a half.
Zen, master of the angles as well, just picks the pocket of Icon and puts that away on the far post.
He beat them by so much that the defender had looked to pre-jump, cut off the angle, and he still couldn't get to that angle. That's some really smart pushing forward from Zen, and that could be the difference in this game, but we already see a backflip coming out as he looked for the aerial. Not a great follow-up.
Wrong button. Icon now through Shady, look to follow that one up, and he just pushes it away to the side for his teammate to take a shot. They read that very nicely. Pop goes the mic, and oh, there we go. Bottom corner for Torsos. There is the response that Chiefs needed to that passage of play. They find that goal.
And, Icon have been growing. It's like they're going through puberty, but every now and again, your voice breaks, your defense breaks, and the goal goes in 2-0 for the Chiefs. And I don't want it to end like this. We've seen some really close games. It would be a shame if Icon can't bring us back. They've got half the match to do it. This one's going high. That was a good chance for CJ, but it doesn't pan out.
That's right. You'd have to be nuts to miss this one. Test in metal, both these 2 teams. And, well, Zen was looking for something infield. Wasn't to be the case. It's Express through Shady now, and look to find that pass, can't be. And Kami bats that one away nicely as Chiefs just looking to repel this Icon attack. Shady trying to redirect that one through the middle. And now Torsos, crucial touch there as well. Great pass into Zen, who just releases the Chiefs. They get some boost in the tanks now. Can start something of their own. Express just pushing it away. Chiefs not really committing too far forward to that, only just replenishing their own tanks. And Torsos just reminds CJ that they can play the game as well.
And that forced the pass to come out one direction. It couldn't have gone any other way, and that allowed the intercept to happen. It really shows how impactful one bump, one demo can be on the entire defense.
Torsos again, just looking to harass that back line, and it sets up Zen nicely as he hangs for that.
Torsos keeps getting so involved, and you see he jumps high early. This is multiple times he's done that, trying to beat out the opponent, adjusts in midair, gets the perfect touch, it gets in front for Zen, and CJ caught on the back foot. They wanted to get into the grand final. Team Icon wanted to prove again that they could be number one, but Chiefs just feel like they want it more.
They certainly do. 3-0 the scoreline. We're going to need to see a spark from Icon in this next minute. More than just one spark. We're going to need to see multiple, but it is getting insurmountable, this scoreline.
It takes one spark to start a fire, and that is what is happening inside the net of Icon right now. It's falling apart. 4-0.
There's blood on the pitch.
There's blood on the pitch. CJ has been murdered. And it's a tough one to watch, but it's kind of not out of the question considering how the rest of the series went. It was very one side, one way, then the other. It looked like this could have been a very close one, but with 40 seconds left, it's going to be incredibly difficult. Because again, CJ Torsos makes a big save. CJ turns on it, but no, it's not to be.
Not to be. 4 goals. Going to be a big ask for any team, let alone these two. They're both of high caliber, but Chiefs have got the better of Icon for this gauntlet at least. So, I mean, a much better account from Icon. They sit a little bit higher. Oh, Express just squeezes that one. Maybe a few consolation goals can be banged in here at the end. But
trying to keep his top position as the what is it? Golden potato farmer? I don't know. What is it?
Golden farmer.
Yeah. The guy who can manage to squeeze out the most goals. Really juicing that one for all it's worth. But 4-1 should be the final one unless Torsos thinks that. Zen sends it all the way back. That's tough. And Chiefs, they're going to be happy to take down their big rivals. Icon, they are in 3rd place again for, I think this is 4 weeks in a row now. No, 3 weeks in a row that they have come 3rd place. Gauntlet number 3, Gauntlet number 4, Gauntlet number 5. Very tough proposition as they head into league play. But we know again that they are focusing on those big finals. But so are Chiefs with the way they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, you look at these two teams and look, it was a close series. And I think Icon were more true to what we've seen from their play style in this particular match. And they're definitely trying some things out. And that's probably an explanation for previous weeks. But this particular week, I think it was more telling of where they're at as a team. But I think Chiefs are going to walk away from this with a lot of confidence, knowing that what they see as their number one rival in the region, they've just gotten the better of.
Yeah, and I think for them as well, they have some good games where they made massive mistakes and they brought that back. That's their big sign. They were able to adapt throughout the series, get to the end and really power it home. Considering they were 2-1 down, that was a tough ask. They did it. Shows their experience. It shows that they can bring Zen up as well. They didn't let themselves get too negative.
Yeah, I think it shows that there's some fire in the belly of both these two teams as well, because neither are going to let it slip. There's always something on the line for these two teams when they play, whether it be a championship or simply just pride. They lay it all out and leave it all out in the field.
Fantastic series, and right next is going to be a fantastic grand final. Up next, Chiefs versus Out of Order. Stay tuned.